What is going on, everybody? It's Salandia Hammond here, aka Sue Ham Baby, and I am here with the extraordinary Beazo Kelly, brand extraordinaire. I'm excited to have him here on the show. He's done some amazing things. He's launched so many businesses, and they've all been successful. And he's here to tell us how he's able to do that and what you can do to build your brand. Beazo, welcome to the show, man.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Definitely a pleasure to be here. I'm thankful to be here. I've been watching the platform, and I was always waiting for my chance to, come on and get in front of your audience. So thank you.
Thank you. I just want to take the time to share this in my group. Um, and then we're gonna get started because I know your time is very valuable, and I'm so appreciative. Brand awareness is something that's so important to me, and I you do it very well. You're located in Sumter, South Carolina. Is that your home?
Yes, Sumter, South Carolina. Born and raised. Moved away a couple of times, but nothing like home. So
You got that
yep.
right. You got that right. Okay. So I'm almost done sharing this. I need a producer for this show for Coffee Chat, but it's hard to find somebody. It's hard to find
Trust me.
somebody to get up that early in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, because it was extremely difficult for me this morning.
Oh, trust me. I'm normally up getting my son ready for daycare, but I'm not talking to anybody, so it's different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, a little bit different. All right. So listen, just take about a minute or so, tell people, a little bit about what you do, who you are, and then we're gonna jump straight into it. I got some great questions for you that I feel is really gonna
Right.
help our listening audience, whether they're watching it live or on the replay.
Well, my name is Beazo Kelly, hailing from Sumter, South Carolina. Serial entrepreneur. I started out DJing and promoting parties, and I love music, and that was just like the foundation of how a lot of people in my area ended up knowing me. And the older you get, you try to think of ways to be more impactful. Not saying that DJing and having parties isn't impactful, but I mean, if you're looking at the problems of my community, from the wealth gap and
Mm.
people not understanding business and different things like that, I just wanted to do something that was more impactful. So I started getting into small business and just being a resource for small business owners to networking event, vendor fairs, markets, graphic design, marketing and promotion, business startups, and all that kind of stuff. And it's been very fulfilling and impactful. And it was, really what I was searching for when I was trying to, enter into a new journey in my career. So that's what I do.
And you're doing it and doing it and doing it well. I was raised up in what is that? Is that Lil Kim? Doing it. No,
Oh
that's
yeah,
LL Cool
yeah,
J.
yeah,
LL Cool
yeah,
J.
oh, yeah, cool, yeah. L. He just dropped the album, still going hard.
Oh, and still looking good too. Um, so listen, I wanted to have you on here. We've got April on here. She's laughing with us. Coffee chat is just really like a casual conversation. And I wanted to talk about branding because in this world, a lot of people rely on social media to get their business out and whatnot, and they just post, but they haven't established a brand. Many don't even know what a brand is. In your own words, tell me what is a brand by your definition?
Well, a brand is what you mean to your audience, who you are, what defines you, how do you impact them, how do you impact the culture around you, your values, your story, all that stuff is your brand, and
Mhm.
it takes a while to really get that message across to people. But if it's a real story and it's something that's going to be helpful or impactful, then you get that story across. But that's the my definition of a brand: your values, your morals. Why are you here? What do you represent?
So in business though, how would you build that brand? How would you present that to people? Build it and say, "Boom, I'm here. What's up?"
Well, you got to be consistent in why you here in the first place.
Mm,
Even if you're doing something where people don't know they need it, you have to communicate and set it up where they think they feel like they need it, because you might wake up tomorrow and say, hey, I want to start a whatever type of brand, and the market's not really calling for that thing that you created, but you
Mm.
can create demand for it if you have the right plan, and it could be the thing that people didn't know they need. So I think you just got to be consistent, and you have to have a plan. You have to roll it out properly, and you got to know who you're trying to sell this product to. Who do you want to fall in love with this product? Because your product isn't for the whole world, it's for your tribe, and you got to attract your tribe. And that takes time and planning, but it definitely could be done.
So how do you know who to put something out to, who to market to? Like April Wilson is saying, she said this is marketing at its best. How do you know who your tribe is? I guess that's the question I'm trying to ask.
Well, you have to figure out why you created this product or this service, and you have to do research. Like, you have to ask questions. Even if you're on social
Mhm.
media, even if you do polls or surveys, you could quietly ask questions. Nobody has to know why you asking these questions, why you having these conversations, and you taking notes and you figuring out, who needs this. What age are they? Where they live at? What kind of career do they have? All these different things is how you create what we call your avatar, and your avatar is a person. It could be, you can name your avatar Johnny, you can name your avatar Beazo, whatever it is. You need to find that person, around the world, around your neighborhood, and you have to create that person and say, this is my product, this is my service, and this is the person that is for. And then you create your content, and you create your messaging that's going to speak to the soul of that person. Of course, when you first starting out, that's a tough thing to do, but you are a reflection of your brand. So
Mhm.
you create your avatar at first based on you, because this is something that you love. You think it's going to be great, and after a while, you can tweak it and change it and take different things from it as that avatar's personality changes. But it can be done, and once you figure out that, you just have to speak to that person in a way that they're going to understand it and they're going to fall in love with what you're doing.
Man, I really love that answer. I've never heard it broken down like that. Matter of fact, I don't think I've even asked that question before, but the way you honestly, that's why you're on the show. We're having this conversation because I watch you freaking in action, and I love marketing. I love promotions. And when
Mm.
I see someone doing it with excellence and is very effective and proficient, I want to dig into their head. So yeah, this is for the audience, but this is also for me because I want
Certainly,
to go to
certainly.
another level. I want to go to another level. Um, so you do a lot of things just like myself. I
Mm.
think we actually met each other because I was doing stage plays, writing and producing stage plays, and you were helping me to
Right.
promote it in your area. um so I do stage plays, I rehab properties, and I provide money for people to home mortgages for people to get a home or refinance or get an investment property. And for me, I've had to like shift, you know, what I do, but even though to me it's still tied in together, it's still creativity because writing stage plays and producing is creative. Rehabbing a house is creative. Finding the money to rehab that house is creative, and getting people
Right.
home mortgages is creative because everybody's scenario is different. So it's just like, writing a story. My question, I guess, with saying all of that, because you do a lot of things, and I'd like for you to tell some of the things that you do. I know you did it in the beginning. How do you shift effectively and get your audience to know, hey, this is what I'm doing now? Yeah, I did that during this
Mhm.
season, but are you
Yeah.
still going to rock with me now? So it's like a two-part question. So should you brand the business that you were doing, or should you brand yourself? And then I want to know, how do you get your audience to shift and do the electric slide with you in the new thing you're
Mhm.
doing? And then if you want to do something else, go the other way
Right,
with the
right.
electric slide.
Certainly, certainly, certainly. Well, I think it depends on your goal, your individual, goals. If your brand is something that depends on, people fall in love with your personality. You want them to kind of champion and follow you, and that's pretty much my brand. Then you want to brand who you are as well, because we live in a day where people want to see themselves in you, and that's what gets them to follow you. They even if they're not as ambitious as you, they fall in love with that ambition. They fall in love with that confidence, and they say, "Hey, I want to be like that," and then they'll follow that kind of thing. But if you have a brand where it's not so much dependent upon that, then you don't have to really worry about that. You have to just focus on the actual brand itself. But when you have a brand that's relying on people to kind of follow and champion you, and it's kind of relying upon the public, then you definitely have to brand yourself, and that's why we kind of watch what we do on social media, and kind of move a certain way.
Can't say what you can't say what you want to say sometimes to some of them
Oh,
posts.
yeah, right. Because when people meet me or talk about me, it's always the same consistent thing. Good person, helpful. A lot of different things I do. I don't really talk about as far as helping brands and stuff like that, but it'll come up in different rooms and circles. So I just try to keep that, in the forefront, and positivity and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely, if you got a service or product that depends on the public, and you want them to kind of champion you and get behind you, you're looking for a tribe, you definitely have to brand yourself as an individual
Mhm.
as well. If you open up a gas company or something, then you probably wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, yeah, like Coca-Cola. We don't. I
Right,
don't know who's behind
right,
Coca-Cola
right,
at this,
right,
but it's a
right.
freaking brand for the sodas and the chips and whatever else they produce. They provide for
Exactly.
people. But I feel like most people nowadays, I think it's strong. I think it's wise to build you the brand as well as the business, because that way that if you do shift, the people they rock with you. They're gonna rock with whatever you do. And I feel like a lot of people
Exactly.
that's on social media, that's what they're doing now. Is like, hey, it's me. I'm the prize, but I create these
Yeah.
little entities. So go ahead and
And
support each and every one of them.
and people love progression. They love
Yes.
innovation. So it's always like, okay, you did that. That was cool. What's next? And honestly, it was a time where I was kind of like frowning upon that kind of mentality. Like, okay, why we can't just stay doing this is going great, but sometimes people just want something fresh and new with still the same goal in my regard, small business, entrepreneurship, but you can just dress it up, give it a new name, say, hey, this is what we're doing. It's 2025, we're doing this right here now, or we adding
Hmm.
this to the fold. And I found that people love that new, fresh thing. It's like what's the old saying of they only care about what you're doing now. They don't care about what you did, last year or whatever. And I used to kind of frown upon that, but now I understand it. That's just the way of the world. People got short attention spans. You got to find different ways to keep them engaged. But as long as your goal and your mission is the same, they'll keep shifting, with you. That's the main thing. As long as your goal and mission is the same, they'll keep, shifting with you, and you don't, just doing something crazy.
Ah,
Yeah.
I love that you said that. Like a freaking light bulb just went on my head, because for me, my mission is to entertain and educate. And so everything that
Mm,
I do is entertain, educate, and leave people better off than I found them. So everything
mm.
that I do, it's tied to that mission. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But you
right,
said
right.
something about people's short attention span. So tell me, what can we do to stand out in the noise? Because there's so much freaking noise, man.
Mm. Well,
It's
you gotta be consistent in what you're doing, and you have to be yourself. I always tell people, be yourself, whatever that may be. If you got a great sense of humor, show that.
mm,
If you're a great listener, you're a great conversationalist. You give great advice. Tap into who you are and be consistent in that with your content. We gotta understand that people gonna get on their phones dozens of times a day. Now you got some people like my one of my brothers. He don't do social media at all. So you
mhm.
got those type of people, but the average person is gonna get on that phone and start scrolling every day. and there's so many different distractions going on. We talking like right now. We talking about, is it going to snow? You got people still talking politics. We talking about the fires in the Los Angeles. Prayers to them.
Yeah.
How is your thing going to make me stop and pay attention and get into your world? And that's by developing, good content, valuable content, and speaking to your person. You only got like a half a second for me to stop scrolling and check you out, and then actually say, oh, let me go to their page and get into their world. So what are you going to do to cause that to happen? You got to have quality content, valuable content. You need to be solving a problem. It just has to be engaging, and sometimes that can be intimidating because I got a lot of my people I work with, they're scared to do videos, and they,
Yeah.
they worry about their hair got to be done and the makeup
Yeah.
got to be done, and they got to have a haircut. But I found that the raw and cut videos come across better sometimes. Just you got in the car and you wanted to say something to the people. So I just tell everyone, just jump right in, go for it, be consistent. That's going to be your biggest thing. You'll get better later. Just be consistent, showing up for your tribe, because if you stop showing up, like I said, the attention span is not like it used to be. They're moving on to something else, and then you got to work hard to get them back focused on what you're trying to do. So being consistent is the greatest thing you can do.
I totally agree. For somebody like you said, I think you said your brother or your uncle does not have social media. I know it was a family member. You said do not have social
Yeah,
media.
my brother, bro, he hates social media. He would not ever get on social media. I get jealous of him sometimes though, because I'm like, he don't know nothing about. He's a very smart guy, educated, college educated. He can talk about all type of topics, but as far as just like some social media stuff, he don't know nothing about it. He's in another world.
So, so how do you reach someone like him? Because what if social media went away today? What
Mm.
what could we do to still maintain our brand awareness?
Well, if you have a brand, you need to be on Google for one.
Mhm.
You need to have a website. Google and a website, that's like the two top things. But also, everyone needs to be focusing on gathering emails, gathering a text message list. And that's because if I, even though you're posting content or whatever it is on social media, it's another thing where I can reach you directly and I can nurture you over time and I can talk to you and I can pop in. Even if I'm not necessarily selling something, I can just come in and say, hey guys, hope everything's going well. Happy New Year. This is what we have coming up this year. Whatever it could be, that email, that phone number is your direct communication to that person. Where the only way they can stop hearing from you is if they unsubscribe. And hopefully you bringing across some great messaging and nurturing them where they won't unsubscribe. So that's very important to gather your phone numbers and gather your emails. Uh, I think I read emails are 70% of people will open an email, and it goes even higher when it go to text messages. But both of them are very effective, and for some reason, some people just won't do it. And because I deal with a lot of brands one on one, and I'll ask them, hey, how many emails you collected this month? And they just, I'm like, I'm telling
Mhm.
you, if something were to happen in social media right now, if you got a good email list, you'll be good because you have
Yes.
people that are already interested in what you're doing, probably already spent some money with you already. That's your person. So you got to have different strategies to get people to give you that email, get people to give you that phone number.
And even if one social media platform collapses, right? If you built up your brand, the great thing about that is when something new comes up, people will go searching for you. If you got
Yeah.
if you got that good, people will go searching and connect. Like, oh, I got to connect with them on this platform as well. That's a great answer with email. So many people think that email are dead, but let's be honest. The bank, when the bank needs to send you something, they send you a text or an email. uh
Oh
you
yeah.
know
Oh yeah.
it's very important stuff is still coming through text and email. So I say to people who think that email is dead, okay, that's fine. Keep thinking
It's
it's
not.
dead. Let me collect your people. Let me collect your people's email.
Exactly. I mean, because most apps, you can see who's opening, the emails. And
Hmm.
trust me, they're still. I just sent out a blast yesterday. They're still opening the emails. You
Hmm.
know, you have to focus on your copy, uh, to get them to, actually read the email. But they will at least open it. Now, whether they read it and react, that's another thing.
Right.
But it's still very effective.
Yeah, I totally agree. And when you say copy, I know what you mean by copy. But for someone who's listening and they're like, what did he mean by focus on your copy in the email? Can you just speak to that, please?
Um, it's basically your persuasive writing. We're gonna say persuasive writing is that what's the subject? It's that line that's gonna get them to open and read to the bottom and do something. Uh, it's you're trying to persuade them. You're trying to take them on a journey to the bottom of
Hmm.
that email to where they're gonna click a link. They're gonna call you. They're gonna do something, and it can be a challenge, but you just got to keep practicing. And you can even they got workshops for it. They got different things you can do to get better at it. But
And
it's
they even got
basically
Chat GPT because you can take your
yeah,
own
chat,
words.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Chat GPT. You can go in there and tell them what you're trying to accomplish, and they'll put something together for you. Kind of tweak it, when you're where it's your voice. But because I use that a lot as well. But yeah, it's
Hmm.
basically in layman's terms, just persuasive, writing. You're trying to get your user, your brand, your client, your customer to do something. Open this email, read it in its entirety, and do something at the end of it. So that's basically what copy is.
Now,
I
tell
love it.
me, I do too, and I love it even more now with Chat GPT because, like you said, I could command it to do certain things. Hey, write an email on a seventh grade educational level that is comical in Sue Ham voice with
Right,
emojis that will catch their attention. That covers these
right.
four items why you should move to South Carolina,
Right.
and it will boom, 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 and boom. Now I've got an email. I can tweak it a little bit more if I want, or it could be perfect and I send it off. So definitely, guys, check out that Chat GPT.
That's why I love. That's why I do. That's why I just got this infatuation with what I do because I tried different things. Like just to touch base, I was writing some copy one day, and I was trying to accomplish something as far as getting people to sign up for this event, and it was kind of moving kind of slow, or whatever. And then it started picking up, and then I sent out another email blast, and the only thing I did, I put a countdown. Uh, I figured out how to put a countdown bar in the email where the time was
Mm.
ticking. Man, that joint sold out. I was like, yo,
Wow.
it's crazy the things you could do to make people move. Like
Well, scarcity. That's a technique to make people move, and so that countdown was a scarcity technique, and so the time was in and out. Another great thing to get people to open your email is to put emojis in the subject line. Um,
yeah.
because then it doesn't seem so like spammy or too professional. So if you're putting emojis in the subject line, there's a study that shows that people tend to open the email a lot
Right.
faster.
Certainly.
Locally, branding locally. You've got about 6 or 7 different companies, probably more than that you do under your brand. And I swear, every time you launch something new, it freaking is successful. And
Oh yeah.
I need to know, what is it that you are doing um in your head? What are you saying? I need to do this, and this, so that when I come and I launch it to the public, it's super successful, super fast. I want to know, and I'm taking
Well,
notes.
the first thing I do is I plan accordingly. So a lot of times when I come out with something, people are seeing it for the first time, but I've been working on it for the last 5, 6 months or the last
Mm,
45 days or whatever it could have been. I've been working on it. And then now it's time to bring it to the public. I call it, we're rolling it out. And if you're going to have a brand, when you're putting out something new, or once you get moving and you want to put out something new within your brand, you got to create what we call a rollout schedule. And that could be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. But just for a quick example, It could be you going live, making an announcement, day one about this new thing that you're doing, and then the next day you can reveal the logo, and the next day you can
Mm,
reveal the flyer, and just keep rolling it out, keep that excitement going. And if you already have a tribe, and like I said earlier, they'll shift with you. If you're new to the game, then you're gonna have to do a lot of work to get convince people to have confidence in what you're doing and how it's gonna uh, help them. Because that's really the bottom line. End of the
mm,
day, people want to know how is this going to help me,
right.
and if you can get that across, then you're going to be successful. And one of the things also is I get people involved in the community who I've worked with before to help me with some of these events. We collaborate, and so now they're letting their tribe know about it, and they're letting their tribe know about it, and you create that rollout plan, and it always just comes together. I don't want to get
Mhm.
too spiritual, but God is great because every time I
Oh,
put a plan
no,
together,
that is great.
yeah, it always comes together, but it's a lot of planning. It's people always contact me to do events, and my first thing I always tell them, I said, if you don't want to do a lot of planning, then I'm not going to be interested because people just they think you just throw it together and it comes. That's not how I work. Like we're going to be meeting, we're going to be planning, we're going to be scrapping this, using that. Um, we're not going to just throw it out there because that's just not. It doesn't make any sense to do that. Unless you like a big celebrity, maybe you can come up with something and that it just works. But I think it just involves a lot of planning and scheduling and understanding how you're gonna roll this out to get people excited about it. Because once they get excited about it, you got them and you're good. But it takes time to get that skill. It just doesn't happen overnight.
I think one of the ways for me that I've been able to use to measure if my brand is effective or not is like when I have other people referring me.
Yeah.
Um, what that brand awareness. And another way is when I'm out in the public and people are like, Suhail, baby, my little my little thing, or they ask the question, when are you going to do another play? Or they say, hey, I want to buy a house, and when I get ready, I'm coming to you. And I'm like, oh, how do you know you're not ready? And then I tell them,
Mhm.
what are you doing to I ask, what are you doing to get ready? Because people will say when I get ready, well, what are you doing to get
Yeah.
ready? What's
Right,
stopping
right,
you? So, what do you think are some ways to know if your brand has, an impact, to know if it's effective?
well, of course, social proof is the best thing, like you just said. Somebody else bigging your brand up, tagging you saying, "Hey, such and such helped me do X, Y, Z." That's the best promotion, the best stamp. That's the best cosign you could ever
Mhm.
get. But also just knowing your numbers at the end of the day, knowing your numbers, knowing the people that you help, like real numbers, and also just your social impact. Like I said, when you're out in the community and people, noticing you and saying, what you're doing. Like when I go out in the community, somebody's always saying, man, I'm proud of you, man. It could be a preacher. It could be somebody who's not even that active on social media, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
So when you get people telling you that, you're on the right path. And also when you're working in your purpose and you're having, success, and with success comes it comes it's hills and valleys, it's ups and downs. That's you're on the right path when you're having success, but at the same time you're having a lot of things you got to work out, and it can be discouraging sometimes. But you look back on how far you came, and that gives you that motivation to keep going. And that might sound kind of weird, but it's all a faith based thing where um if God brought you all the way this far, and you're having this success, and you reach this what I call a stress ceiling, that's how you know you're on the right path because he's
Mm.
forcing you to learn some more, do something different, and that's to me that's what I believe.
It's so funny. My sister and I, Shanika Hammond Brown, we joke about it all the time. And I said, I can understand why people just like to keep things the way they are, or just remain
Right.
average, because when you stretching and you growing and you going to another level, it is super freaking challenging, man.
Oh
And
yeah.
it is so comfortable to just stay in what you're in.
Yeah.
like forget the growth, forget learning
Listen.
something new. Because even sometimes learning the new tech stuff and or the new regulations and it's just
Oh yeah.
challenging. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, when you're called to be greater, you got to go forth and you just,
Sure.
you're built. I always like to say you're built for this. And I think that you're built for
Sure.
branding, marketing, advertising, build, connecting the people. And it's more than just a brand. I think your brand is also just about connecting the people and providing some serious value in so many different ways. Um, I think another way that you know that your brand is super successful is when people look to you as a resource in the community.
Hmm.
Um, excuse me, when they come to you and they're like, hey, Beazo, how do I do this? Or how do I do this? Do that?
Sure.
Do you know this person? Can you connect me?
Oh
That
yeah.
means that really says something because people have to know, like, and trust you to be able to
Yeah.
come to you. And sometimes it's with some pretty some pretty important stuff. Like people, they don't discuss credit and finances with everybody. They don't
Right. Right.
discuss your aspiration and dreams with everybody. So for someone to be able to come to you and be able to do that, that says a lot about you as an individual and a lot about your brand and the integrity it has built. What do you think about
Certainly.
that?
Certainly, because that's me all the way.
Hmm.
Don't come to me talking about your ideas, because I'm gonna command you to do something. Um, and people know that about me. Don't come to me and say, hey, I always wanted to do this. And I'm gonna say, well, what are you doing to do it? What can we do right now today to get it going? And that's literally like how I move. Like, because we all got ideas. You can have a million ideas. How are we going to put it in action? How can we get moving on this right now? Like, I don't care if you go to YouTube and watch a video on that thing you're trying to figure out how to do, but let's get rid of just having an idea, and let's have some action behind it. And that's
Absolutely.
always what I try to do with people. That's why I have a great impact on so many people, because they'll DM me, they'll see me somewhere, and I end up giving them a free consultation every time. I can't
But you
help
know what though? It does come back. It comes back because they're referring
it.
you.
Yeah,
And,
certainly, certainly,
yeah,
certainly.
I totally get what you're saying.
I'm gonna give you the game. That's just me, because I feel like I'm always learning. I'm always seeking knowledge. So I don't mind giving you that, because that's something I might have learned years ago that you just didn't know. And I'm going to show you how to bring your idea to reality, because a lot of times people just need that push, and some people
Mhm.
just how me and you or someone else might just know something. That piece of knowledge is laying in our brain. We don't even use it. Some people just don't know.
They really
So
don't.
yeah, they
They
just
really
the
don't.
stuff you would think they know, they just don't know. So I'll just drop it in their ear, and I'll see people get steamrolling, and that brings me so much joy, just seeing someone, coming back to me saying, "Man, I did that thing that you told me to do, and now everything's going great," or whatever it is,
Mm.
and I get a lot of fulfillment out of that as well. So yeah.
You have this event that's coming up. You won't be able to see it, but I'm gonna put it on the screen. It's called and I love the name of it, Loving on My Brand, the
Oh yeah.
network affair. Talk to me about that. How did you come up with that idea and what is it? It's an amazing idea.
Right, right. Loving on my brand and networking affair. Of course, Valentine, coming up. So kind of themed around that, and the new year. Just encouraging people to focus on their brand, love on their brand. Um, excuse me. I am full-time entrepreneur, but a lot of my clients aren't, and sometimes their day job kind of boggles down them getting back focused on that great idea they had. So it's really something that's going to help people get back focus on your brand, love on your brand. Yeah, you work, wherever you work at, uh, and maybe it's within your career, maybe it's not, but you had this idea that you came to me with, or you've been putting on Facebook or Instagram. Let's focus back on that and love on your brand in
Mhm.
2025. And we're going to be talking about, well, the event is in Sumter, South Carolina. First of all, February the 2nd. That's a Sunday, 3 p.m. We're going to be at Silver Spoon Event Center. There's going to be a lot of networking. Of course, we're going to have guest speakers, and we're going to be focusing on business structure, A lot of people have a business or side hustle, whatever it is. We're gonna help you turn that into a real business, as far as
Wow.
forming an LLC, or whatever makes sense for your brand. We have a guest speaker that's gonna be talking about business structure. We have a guest speaker that's going to be talking about marketing and promotion, which is going to be me. We have a branding guest speaker. We also have business taxes guest speaker and business credit as well. So we're going to be touching all the main things that I feel helps a business be successful and be a real business. So you can get the
Mhm.
benefits of being a business owner instead of just having like a side hustle or whatever. Which, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's time to elevate. It's time to step it up. It's time to love on your brand in 2025 and do it the right way.
I hear that. I want to open it up for the people that are on here. Do you guys have any questions? You could be typing your questions so that we can ask Mr. Beazo why he is live, because I've had him on here now about 37 minutes and
We're
it's
rolling.
7 minutes. I,
Rolling.
I tell you, the fact that you are bringing speakers to actually help them build out their business is phenomenal. We all
Yeah,
know that in this day and age with the economy, businesses it's where it's at. If you want the biggest tax break, businesses, people who
exactly,
get
exactly.
taxed the most are W-2 employees. Nothing wrong with being a W-2 employee, but if you can
Right.
establish a business and still work your job and get some of those tax benefits. Any
Yeah,
questions?
I really wanted to just, start off this year doing some more impactful events, which in all
Mhm.
of my events been impactful, but just really getting to the core of people's problems. Yeah, everybody can create a great product and sell it, but let's do business the right way, and that's why I created this new event. And I have some other events that I already got cooking. Um, Off camera, I'm gonna tell you about the next one. This is gonna be it's gonna be great.
All
Yeah.
of them are great. All of them are
Oh yeah.
super, super,
Sure, sure.
super great. Anything you want to share before we end the coffee chat conversation this morning?
I just want to tell everyone, for me, man, keep God first, and whatever it is you're trying to do in your life, just go after it. The level of work and dedication that you have to have for something to be successful is almost unexplainable.
Mm.
Just know that you just have to go after it every day, and don't worry about whether you're mad or you're sad or you and your spouse not getting along or you had a bad day at work. Just keep showing up and being consistent, and you'll see something start to happen. And that's if I can leave with anything, it would be that, because I see so many people with great ideas just give up, or I check on them. I say, hey, how's business going? Don't worry about the outside noise. Keep going.
Mm.
Focus on your thing. If God put in your spirit to do that, whatever it is, no matter what it is, do it. And don't let anything distract you from it. Don't get discouraged. Keep going, keep forging ahead. And that's what I want to leave with the people, because that's what I'm preaching this year. Because I just want everybody to win. I want people to really walk in their purpose and make it happen. Because we are magical people, um, and if we could just tap into that, you tap into yourself and you know who you are. That's when you can really be successful. And I know it takes a lot to do that, but it can be
Hey,
done.
it
Yeah.
can be done. I love what you said. I want to go back to something real quick. You said about the reason why you share so much information because it's in you and you want to help people. Gary Vee said that he gives away, I think, like 95% of his information for free. He said, but the
Yeah.
reality of it is 95% of the people are not going to implement it and do anything. So when you
Right.
said everybody has ideas, that is so true. And we're living in an age where information is all around us. It's in your fingertips. It's at your fingertips, in your hand.
Right.
I need some lotion on my hand. But
You good.
and so really when you really want to do a thing, you can Google it. And then once you got an idea of what that is, you do need a mentor, because I feel like a mentor helps you keep your hair. A mentor helps prevent headaches, and a mentor helps you get to where you want to go a whole lot faster. And accountability, mentor can be an
Yeah.
accountability person that makes you get up off your butt and be consistent, because consistency matters. Consistency rules. And you said something that's very important. Even when you don't feel like things are happening, it's not going your way, you got setbacks. That's a part of the journey. Michael
Hmm.
Jordan said, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I made it look too easy because everybody
Mm,
thought that they could be Mike. And
right, right.
what they didn't see though was to be Mike. Well, first of all, you can't be Mike. We're all, we're
Yeah,
all in the creative people. We're who we
right.
are. But if you want to try to be like Mike, you got to do what Mike did when the cameras weren't on him. You got to be practicing every day to be better. People say practice makes perfect. No, because you can practice the wrong way. You got to be progressively getting better every day. So, a lot of times you make it look easy and we don't see
Oh
the
yeah,
behind the scenes work that you're putting in. So I'm thanking you for saying that it takes faith, it
oh
takes
yeah,
work,
sir.
it takes consistency, and it
Yes,
takes
sir.
encouraging yourself and celebrating the small wins. We
Certainly,
got a
certainly.
question here from April. I know we were about to end it, but we had this question pop up. She says, when you're creating another business, how do you determine whether you will put it under your current brand or create a new one? And I think we kind of addressed that earlier, but if you could just speak to
Well,
that.
if it coincides with your mission, then it's no problem doing that. If you're talking from a business structural side, you could do that as well. If you got an LLC, you can put as many brands as you want under it. But as far as just saying, hey, I'm starting a new thing, if it coincides with what you're doing and your mission, that's fine. If you want to kind of redefine what you're doing, then you should probably want to, separate it. But it all depends on what your goal is, and again, your mission. Hopefully that is a good answer and helps you.
So before you go though, tell people how they can connect with you because they may want to use your services to find out how they can strengthen their brand or even solicit your help for putting on successful events because there isn't one that I know of that has not been successful.
Certainly, certainly. First of all, I do consultations. I do marketing strategies, graphic design, social media marketing, community marketing. I host markets, vendor fairs throughout the whole year, and a host of other things. So if you need any assistance in any of those areas, I am available. And anybody that's watching right now, I'm going to be offering 15% off any service that I offer if you're watching right now. Only thing you have to do is DM me right now, Beazo Kelly on Facebook. Just DM me 15%. Just put 15% off in my DM, and whenever you're ready to use it on whatever service I offer, where you need a flyer made, you want to have a consultation, you get 15% off, and you can reach me at my email, which is Soul Rocky Promotions with a S, Soul Rocky Promotions at gmail.com, or you can just reach out to me via Facebook, Beazo Kelly, and I'm very responsive, so I'll reach back to you ASAP.
Man, I appreciate that. Before we go, guys, I definitely want you to go out and get my free book, How to Get the Best Mortgage for Your Home Purchase. It is free. You can read it instantly online. All you have to do is go to the website loanswithsuham.com. And then I just want to make a big announcement for those of you that may not know. I am now an ambassador with First Home IQ. So I get to
Congratulations.
go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I get to go in and I get to teach financial literacy to anyone. But my focus is going to be schools, colleges, churches, and business organizations. So if you need me to come in, there is um, no reason why I would say no. Just hit me up and also scan that QR code there and take the quiz and see how much you know about the home buying process. So just excited
I
about
want
those
to
things.
I
Go
want to
ahead,
big
Beazo.
you up. I want to big you up real quick. I love all the work you're doing. I've been following you forever,
Thank
and
you.
you one of the people that I look up to in the game because you're just so motivational. And even days where I'm like kind of off my game, I go look and you firing off. That gets me going. So I love the work you're doing. Helping people, find homes, and it's just great. So just keep doing what you're doing. We all love you. It's great.
Hey, and that love is reciprocated, brother, for real, big time.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for being here, guys. Make sure y'all tune in every Thursday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook for Coffee Chat. We got some great guests coming up. Our next guest is going to be Michael Big League McKenzie. He's going to tell you how you can get money, even if you're a first-time investor, to finance your investment property. So next time, y'all be good. Beazo, stay
All
on, man. I
right.
want to chat with you.
Certainly, certainly.